Now we're just days away from Christmas. For some, the most exciting time of the year, but it can also be a difficult time for relationships.
Yes, fractious families, troublesome in-laws and stress levels can mean trouble between you and your partner. Thankfully, Partnership Relationship Advisor Paula Hall is here with some sound advice. Good to see you again, Paula.
Hello. Hello.
All right. How do we avoid rows and keep romance alive around Christmas time? What are the cardinal rules?
I just want to say go abroad. That's the best way to make sure it's all fine. But no, that's really not the right answer. I think the most important thing is probably communication. Again, same old chestnuts, although chestnuts are seasonal. And make sure you're talking about your expectations. In my experience, the biggest problem that couples have is that one of them just assumes they're going to have a really nice, quiet Christmas in front of the telly, while the other one has just assumed that actually they're going to be out a lot, they'll have lots of friends round, they'll play charades, it's going to be a fantastic time. One of them's going to be disappointed. You've got to make sure you talk about what you want from this Christmas season.
Well, already, if my household is anything to go by, the rows start, practically in November. Where are we doing Christmas?
Yeah.
Whose house? Whose parents? We go down the country, and it's probably even more difficult if your parents live, in different counties. So I know the rows have started. I know you counsel a lot of people. At this time of the year, what are they saying to you?
It does take a lot of organisation. Of course, the weather's not helping this year either. Is it really feasible to do that long trip, or actually would it be better? And some people perhaps using it to their advantage. And separated families as well, where actually there's 4 sets of parents to go and see, and step families to get on with, and all those sort of confusions and complications. And I think we put so much emphasis on enjoying Christmas, and we want to look forward to it. And a lot of people, are saying that they really want to make sure it's a special time, and they want to make sure they have time for each other and good family time. But actually, that extra pressure can then make it harder to actually just relax and have fun. And ultimately, it is about family.
I always find that arguments will develop when somebody goes to switch on a TV. So, we have an unwritten rule in our house where you just switch on the TV on Christmas Day.
Do you not?
No.
Would you not just get 2 TVs?
No, we just, Christmas dinner, it's family time. We're not playing charades, but we're doing other things.
But you've agreed that, Martin. You've
Exactly.
obviously, that's the family rule. And this is particularly the problem in second families, is where actually the family rule in one house is one thing, and then it's something else somewhere else. And this isn't how we do Christmas. And young couples find that, or couples who haven't been together very long, they've been very used to doing Christmas in a certain way, and suddenly, they're in a new relationship with someone who's very used to doing it differently. And Christmas traditions can cause huge arguments, and I have had couples argue like crazy about whether or not they open the presents Christmas Eve, Christmas morning. Do you go to church? Got to go to church on Christmas Day. Others, we don't go the rest of the year. Why are we going now? The rows that can actually be started over traditions, because that's the way you're meant to do a proper Christmas. But again, it's assumptions, it's expectations. But if you talk about it, then potentially no one reaches for the remote control and you're fine. OK, well, a potential Christmas problem can develop either on Christmas Eve, when the presents are being opened, or on Christmas morning, when the presents are being opened, because the wrong thing may have been purchased. This is true. This is true. And actually, planning is not necessarily the thing to do, because we all like a bit of a surprise, don't we? It is difficult, and I suppose some couples know that they're probably going to get it wrong. And again, I have a couple come to mind instantly who are arguing over the Christmas present, and she's saying, you had better do better than last year. And she has this wonderful thing that she says, and if you really love me, you'll know what I want. Ah, that's a mind game. Absolutely. Sorry. Absolutely. If you love me, you'll be a mind reader. You'll be telepathic. And of course, that's just not possible. So you've got to drop a few hints. You've got to try and help your partner to get it right. But I think it's all about holding perspective as well, isn't it? It's one day. And whatever happened to the spirit of Christmas, it shouldn't be about the actual present. It is about the thought that's behind it. And I think if you do hold on to that, then you can't go too far wrong. I have 2 friends, and she told him, just get me a couple of small things for Christmas, which he did. There was a face on for the day. And when he eventually said, look, what is the problem? And she said, well, for the money you spent on the small things, you could have got me something decent. So he was given the hints, took them, ran with them, and still did the wrong thing.
But they're happy. They're happy. It was just a problem that day.
So, Paula, what are you saying to couples then to keep the romance alive and to keep from tearing each other apart and having massive fights and not speaking?
Yeah.
What do you say to them now this time of year? Take some time out, obviously, have a date night and...
Well, first of all, sit down and talk about what you want from Christmas. Plan it. What are you looking forward to? What do you really not want to do? Is there anything you've really got in your head you don't want to do? Do a bit of planning, talk it through, sort it out. If you've got to see some in-laws that you don't want to do, fine, but actually, you know, agree how you're going to do that and how you're going to manage that. So try and preempt any problems that might come along. I think watching your alcohol intake is always sensible. Getting a bit of exercise is pretty important as well, just to get out of the house a bit. And if you can, make time for you as a couple. And so often, particularly if you've been in a relationship a long time, it's all about the other people, isn't it? It's all about making it good for the kids, making it good for, you know, everybody else. But try and have some time for you as well.
I know this is going to be a bad question, but would you see many couples separating after Christmas, coming to you saying, look, it's just Christmas was the nail in the coffin? Well,
unfortunately, January is the busiest time for people like me, people who work with couples. It is the biggest time for breakups, and for some, actually, it's not really that Christmas is the last straw, because actually things have been going wrong for quite a long time, and often it's a case of actually, let's just scrape through. And yes, again, I've got clients at the moment saying, I can't say anything now. Not just before Christmas. I can't say anything now. I'll wait till after Christmas.
By the way, is Christmas a good time to be getting into a new romance?
Getting into a new romance? Well, actually, interesting, Parship just did some research on this, and 90% of people don't think that Christmas or New Year is a good time. So I don't know if that's because maybe we don't make the wisest decisions at those parties, or actually maybe we don't go that far afield.
90?
90. It is huge. I was really, really surprised by that. But 50% of people think that the actual office party, if you want to make a move, if there's somebody you're interested in at work, 50% say the office Christmas party is the time to do it. And in terms of new season, January, that's when the dating business really takes off. So divorce, dating, not quite in the same week, you understand.
All right,
well,
all right.
We'll hopefully see you in January for some dating tips then. Thanks for coming on.
One of the things I was told when buying for the woman in your life is something practical, something she wants, and a surprise.
You have it all covered.
And that should cover all the angles and see you through to the new year without having to, you know, eat your dinner with the dog. Okay.